Have you ever felt the weight of the world silently fall on your shoulders as you find yourself completely alone? Today we won't just talk, but we'll delve into the deep waters of loneliness through the eyes of one of the greatest thinkers of all time, Carl Jung. It's not just about absence, emptiness. Solitude is a vast and limitless universe where pain and growth dance in an embrace that can transform the soul. Prepare to discover how this dreaded state can actually be the key to opening the hidden doors of your inner being. Loneliness, a feeling so universal and yet so deeply personal. It often envelops us like a cold and heavy cloak, a shadow that follows our most silent steps. This can manifest itself in a room full of voices and laughter, where one feels isolated despite the presence of others. Or it can be that secret place we escape to when the world becomes too deafening. Solitude can be a refuge, a place of calm and reflection, or it can turn into an inevitable prison, where the walls are built by our own thoughts and fears. But what does Carl Jung, the great explorer of the human soul, tell us about this complex state of mind? Jung saw solitude not simply as isolation from other human beings, but as a valuable opportunity for a sincere encounter with oneself. It is in the silence of our solitude, far from the clamor and distractions of everyday life, that we can hear the deepest and often overlooked voices of our psyche. According to Jung, it is precisely in these moments of apparent solitude that the self, our most authentic and complete essence, can emerge. Without the masks we wear every day, without the expectations and judgments of others, we find ourselves facing our true nature. Solitude thus becomes not only a moment of isolation, but a bridge to the deep understanding of who we are, what we truly desire, and the shadows that lurk in our unconscious, waiting to be recognized and integrated into our being. On this journey through loneliness, we discover that being alone does not necessarily mean being alone. Solitude offers an extraordinary window into our inner world, a rare and precious opportunity to reconcile with ourselves, to grow, and, ultimately, to transform. This is the beauty and paradox of solitude. In its silence, we can find the answers that the noise of the world prevents us from hearing. Carl Jung introduces us to one of the most powerful and thought-provoking concepts in analytical psychology, the shadow. This mysterious and often dark part of us represents everything that we have suppressed, denied, or simply ignored in our personality. It is made up of those desires, emotions, and character traits that, for fear of being judged or out of a need to belong, we have buried deep in our unconscious. The shadow is not only that which is dark, but also everything that we have not yet explored about ourselves. In solitude, when the noise of the world fades and we find ourselves alone with our thoughts, the shadow can arise. Here, solitude becomes a scene where the shadow manifests itself, sometimes in the form of a whisper, sometimes in the form of an inescapable cry. But how can we face these parts of ourselves that we often fear or despise? The process of recognizing and integrating the shadow is deeply personal and can be as painful as it is liberating. It takes courage to look directly into those dark corners of our psyche and recognize the pieces of ourselves that we have excluded. This encounter can shake the foundations of our identity, but it is essential to achieve a feeling of wholeness. Solitude offers the silence necessary to listen to the voices submerged by the shadow. Here, far from distractions and social expectations, we can truly listen. The key is acceptance, welcoming every aspect of ourselves with compassion, without judgment. This acceptance does not imply resignation, but rather a conscious integration which leads to greater inner harmony. In this lonely place but full of potential, we can find freedom. Freeing yourself from the shadow does not mean eliminating it, but rather allowing it to coexist in a balanced way within our lives. This process of acceptance and integration opens the way to a profound transformation, to a renewed, more authentic, and more complete sense of self. Solitude, therefore, transforms from a feared enemy into a precious ally, a safe place to explore and bring together the many facets of our being. Loneliness, often perceived as a state to be avoided, actually hides incredible potential. This quiet companion pushes us to explore the unexplored territories of our inner being, to cross the boundaries of the known and the safe. It is deep in this sacred and silent space that we find ourselves facing ourselves, without filters or distractions. Here, far from external influences and the expectations of others, we are called to plumb the depths of our minds to find answers that no one else can give us. Solitude thus becomes a gym for the soul, where the muscles of our character and our will can be trained and strengthened. In the calm of these moments of solitude, many people have discovered resources of resilience and courage that they did not know they possessed. Solitude allows us to experiment with our identity, play with unexplored possibilities, and give space to our most authentic creativity. It is here that many great works of art were conceived, revolutionary theories took shape, and personal and professional visions crystallized. More profoundly, solitude can act as a catalyst for an even greater revelation, the discovery of our life mission. Without the clamor and demands of the outside world, we can listen to the subtle but insistent voice that guides us toward our true purpose. This path is not without challenges. Solitude can give rise to doubts and fears, as well as intuitions and inspirations. However, it is thanks to this confrontation with our inner demons and our guardian angels that we can emerge wiser, stronger, and more at peace with ourselves. Solitude is therefore not only a place of reflection, but an arena of transformation. This is a powerful force that, if embraced, can open the door to a deeper understanding of who we are and what we are capable of doing. By embracing solitude, we accept an invitation to grow, evolve, and realize our full potential. In conclusion, my friends, solitude can be a harsh teacher, but also a precious ally. Through solitude, Carl Jung teaches us that we can emerge not only intact, but renewed, wiser, and more complete. Do not fear the lonely path. Take it as an opportunity to meet your true self.